of the sentence, I will stop.
Look,
She's
you know,
gonna give you a warning. What are you
Right.
gonna do? What?
I'm gonna let you know when it's 5 minutes.
Okay, that gives me 2 moments.
Well, no, that means you have 5 minutes left. And then I'm gonna give you the 2-minute warning.
Okay.
Then when you get to the end, I'm gonna say, if you don't stop, I'm gonna say, please
Then
stop.
you get a lasso. You get a
Yeah.
lasso.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
This is just such an incredible evening. When I think about, I like the last day of your year and then the first day of your year, including your birthday. So Ann Platts, where are you?
Right here.
There she is. This is the last day of the year for you, and tomorrow is your trajectory moment. That you just turned another year, and you have a whole new celebration of life. Clap, yes, you may clap.
You gotta say Ann Groton.
Ann Groton.
Yes, Ann.
Ann Groton. Thank you, Elizabeth, for being our detective. What was so amazing, we do serve an amazing God, because Ann Groton told me last year, she said, Jan, when you get to Fun and Frolic or Legacy Leaders, which it is now, next year, she says, you are gonna have a testimony that is so profound that people are gonna just say, what a wow story. And I can tell you that I do have quite a profound testimony since last year. I was actually near death's doorstep this past year with sepsis, kidney stones, skin cancer, high blood pressure, cholesterol, you name it. I mean, it seems like it showed up. However, the enemy is a liar, and they will only reports. And I'll tell you something else that's really kind of fun. You see this cane, which I was trying to get rid of? Well, I think that God may have a plan for this cane. Because when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a rockette. And I was too short. I certainly had the dance ability, because no one ever taught me how to dance, but I won some champions in dancing, and I was a ballroom dancer, and I was a choreographer at Richland College, teaching chorales to move to music for over 7 years. And so this is my putting on the Ritz. I give my regards to Broadway.
Awesome.
And that goes. And when I bought this cane, I said, you know, someday I might need a cane. And if I do, I really want it to look like I'm on my way to Broadway. So here it is, girls. So, what was so fun with it is that this morning, you know, I've gone through the little pits and valleys on this last couple of days, where I have to wait for 2 minutes before I can take my first step, you know, but God says, be still and know that I am God. And so this morning, when we were getting up and Barbie and I were getting dressed, I put on some of my Anne Murray music, because she has got, can I have this dance for the rest of my life? Let's sing it. Will you be my partner every night? When we're together, it feels so right. Can I have this dance for the rest of my life? And what happened was Barbie and I waltzed. We waltzed in our little suite up there, and I love it. Thank you, Jamie. It is just perfect for us. And so I just want you to know that you can have the dance with Jesus for the rest of your life. And that's what we're gonna be doing. And as I said, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a choreographer. I wanted to be in music. I wanted to do those things. And so I was born in New York City in Greenwich Village, so I'm really just a big hippie. And what happened was that when I moved to Bayside, I was actually with a foster mother, because my parents weren't capable of raising me. They were both alcoholics. My mother lived in an institution in upstate New York, a mental institution, and I didn't even meet her till I was about 33 years old. My father died when I was 14, and they buried a man that I didn't even know. So, you know, we have those stories to tell, but then we look at what are the victory stories that we can hotel. And so when I was in foster care, I lived in Bayside, Queens. And I always enjoyed putting on the Ritz, as you might say. And so I would take the stoop of our brick house. It had about 5 steps on it. And I said, to my little girl head, it said, that looks like a stage. So I would invite all the boys and girls from the neighborhood to come, and I'd say, what are you good at? What can you do? Can you sing a poem? Can you do a poem? Can you sing? Can you dance? And I would put on a show. And
That's awesome.
That was my stage on the stoop. So that was the first production. And through foster care, the good, the bad, and the ugly, you can read about it in my autobiography. It's called She Dares to Dream, the Jan Tennyson story, which has been put in the hands of missionaries around the world, including the soldiers in Iraq. I was speaking to a veterans organization in Oregon, and one of the ladies there heard part of the story, and she said, oh, that is such a story of hope. You have got to be able to let me send some of those to our boys. So some of the boys in Iraq who are defending our country are reading She Dares to Dream, because we all need to dare to dream. And sometimes we marry people who can't dream, or we meet people in our lives who haven't had anybody to be their encouragers. And as I look out into this audience, I am looking out into a bunch of faces of cheerleaders. You girls are cheerleaders. You are, all the years that I've been coming to Fun and Frolic, I think that, we say that this might be the grand finale, but I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of curtain calls. And I really think that you're all going to be able to be part of that, and you're going to be able to show everybody what's the next level, what's the next thing you're going to do for the Lord that is so far out of the box that you say, I couldn't do it, and that's good, because then you'll have to depend on the Lord. When I started Dare to Dream Children's Foundation, because of the fact that I was brought up in the foster care system, I wanted life to be better for kids who were just like me, without families, without moms, dads. I never had a grandmother or a cousin or an aunt or an uncle. And so, I said, we just have to have relationships with people who will care about us. So I knew I wanted to start an organization that would help the underprivileged child, whether it be, in a group home, a shelter, a detention center, an orphanage, and now, this last couple of years, it's been over 30 years that Dare to Dream Children's Foundation has been doing things around the world, and building Christian education for about 7 or 8 orphans personally that are in Nepal and Rwanda and Honduras and places that I never even have been, but we don't have to go there to be able to support a ministry that's doing things for orphans around the world. Is it stop time already? Oh, well then you're just gonna have to get me back.